There's not too many goals that get this sort of reaction. Shock, awe, panic, confusion, it's all there, and it's all because of one man and his ludicrous scissors kick. But this might never have happened if Jurgen Klopp's biggest rival had given him a chance, if Brendan Rodgers had stayed on at Liverpool, or if Solomon Rondon had better balance. So, how did Emre Can end up in this position at Vicarage Road? Well, he never would have made it to Liverpool had Pep Guardiola had faith in him. The then Bayern Munich manager sold him to Bayer Leverkusen in 2013 as he struggled to get into the first team, but at Leverkusen he had a breakout season. And with a release clause of just under £10 million, Liverpool snapped him up in the summer of 2014. But he had a bit of a rough start to life at Anfield. Not only did he get the usual greeting from Diego Costa, but he was often playing out of position. See, his manager wasn't scared to be brave. And after 3 back-to-back defeats in November, he changed his formation to have a back 3, but an injury to Kolo Touré saw Can fill the gap, and that's where he stayed for much of the rest of the season. With the blessing of Kolo himself. What a nice fella. Rodgers did have some previous for playing players out of position. Lazar Markovic probably thought he was a forward before he met Rodgers, but he had his best spell at Liverpool when deployed as a wing-back. It was a bit hit, but mainly missed for Can in defence. He wasn't a natural centre-back and was hooked at half-time, as Liverpool lost 6-1 to Stoke.
What is Can doing with the header?
He struggled again in the first Merseyside derby of the 2015-2016 season, a performance that triggered a change at Anfield. Jurgen Klopp arrived and made some swift changes that were a big boost for Can. See, Klopp knew about Can's strengths as a midfielder. Not only had he broken into the Germany national side, but as a 19-year-old he was also the driving force in Bayer Leverkusen's midfield as they beat Klopp's Dortmund. So it was no surprises that for Klopp's first game in charge, Can was back in his favourite position.
I played, I think, since Jurgen Klopp arrived, always in the midfield, and that's my favourite position, and I like to play and love to play there.
The history lesson comes to an end in a moment, but it's important to know what was going on with Can ahead of that game against Watford. Firstly, there were big question marks over his future as he'd run his contract down to having just 1 year left.
No problems, absolutely no problems in this moment. Completely good talks. Emre likes to be here. We really like him as a person and as a player.
He was also dealing with a bunch of injuries linked to an ongoing calf problem. He played through the pain, but was clearly suffering. And had he shown he had this sort of goal in his locker? Well, he'd scored 4 goals already that season, 2 of which were actually pretty special, which on a side note might make him one of the most underrated scorers of great goals. Anyway, heading to Watford on May 1st, 2017, the pressure was on Liverpool. They just lost to Palace, and City and United had closed the gap, meaning a 4th place finish was no longer in their hands. One team change we need to know about for Watford: Adrian Mariappa was back, replacing Miguel Britos, who was sent off against West Brom following this apparent foul on Solomon Rondon. It's not irrelevant, promise. Watford lined up with a back 5 and were tough to break down. One tactic that Liverpool were using was pushing James Milner forward to draw out their right back, which would then leave space for Can to run into. And they showed their hand in the second minute when Philippe Coutinho made that same run. At this point, Coutinho was Liverpool's main creative force, but when Mariappa lunged in clumsily, his game was over. Liverpool would need someone else to step up. And Can took it upon himself and was pushing forward more than usual. But heading into added time, things were getting a bit messy. Liverpool needed a spark. Then it happened. Liverpool had the ball on the right, Milner made his run forward. This time right wing-back Nordin Amrabat was outnumbered and hesitated. Not only that, watch Mariappa step out of line.
Lucas. Can's made his way into the box! Well, that is a moment to savour! Emre Can has plucked one straight out of the top drawer!
The best goal what I ever scored. So the ball was a great ball from Lucas, and then it was just, I didn't think too much, and then I scored.
A special moment, and surely only a madman would have looked away.
I probably turned a little bit too early when I saw it will be in the back of the net.
Ah well, some things just aren't meant to be.